So today is Thursday. Today is Ashtanga Yoga Day, and that is going to be essentially the same sequence as last week. However, last week was a 50-minute class and it got cut short a little bit. So today we're going into the practice fully for an hour. So if you have to end early at any point, just make sure that you go into Shavasana, for like a minute. If needed, if you can go for longer than that, go for it. But I'd like for you to make sure that you end in that same way and then finish your day. The practice is a medium intensity practice. Take it at your pace. So if you feel like you have to slow things down or if you have to skip a vinyasa, make sure that you honor that and skip it. The other thing is, I want to quickly just give a reminder about what a vinyasa is so that I'm not going to be using that many words today to describe it. So the Ashtanga Yoga, it's actually Ashtanga Vinyasa Yoga, so that means that this is like an integral part of the practice, and it's taken to increase endurance and to keep the body warm, and also to neutralize the spine, and also to create like strength in between everything that we're doing. So it's got so many functions. And just a quick reminder, I'm going to go through that right now. A vinyasa is being in a plank posture first, where you're at the top of the push-up. And if you want to go through this with me, you can. Remembering that the knees can be down, but they're far behind the hips. Remembering that when you're in a plank posture, the wrists, the elbows, and the shoulders all line up with each other. And then when you lower, you're just going to bend the elbows and not the spine. So you come down with control, and then tops of the feet come to the mat. Hips can be down. This is our cobra posture, or an upward facing dog with the hips up, straight arms. And then you come back into downward facing dog. You can find the knees first, and then you just roll over the toes and find it right here. So just a reminder. Now let's start our practice. So let's start seated, and we're going to actually bring in the Shiva mantra, because that's part of this tradition. So first, let's take a nice clearing breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Come into table posture, hands and knees. Now, if you're going to utilize blocks today, which I highly recommend, make sure you have one on each side of the mat. And we're going to start in a table posture. And I'm facing this direction on purpose, so we can, you can still view what's going on. So we're going to first find table posture and come into Ujjayi Pranayama. Deep breath in through the nose. Open the mouth, fog out. Stays open, fog in through the mouth. Close the mouth, exhale through the nostrils. Establish the breath. Now establish this concept of vinyasa so that we are synchronizing breath and movement, breath and body. Inhale, relax belly, head lifts. Cow, exhale, belly engages. Back rounds, head comes down, cat. A couple of these. Now we're going to find a cow posture, And then we'll take the knees back a step or the hands forward a step, roll over the toes, and lift up into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Little movement. Now, especially before these higher, they are really higher intensity than what I often teach. These sorts of practices, definitely want to make sure not to eat beforehand, or to give yourself at least an hour to two before you do this activity from the time you eat. Look forward, float the feet forward, top of the mat. So this is dynamic. You might bend the knees and then float up, bearing some weight on the arms for a moment. Come up halfway, lengthen the spine. Exhale, lower. This is Uttanasana. Come up halfway once again, Ardha Uttanasana. And then exhale, lower down. Inhale all the way up to standing. Exhale, Samastitihi. Palms together, thumbs to the heart center. Surya Namaskara, letter Ka, sun salutation A. Inhale, reach the arms up. Engage the thighs, pelvis pulls in, look up. Exhale, fold forward over the legs. Look past the knees, gazing in that focusless gaze, drishti. Come up halfway, lengthen the spine. Exhale, hands down. So we're going to take a vinyasa, but we'll go slow first time. Palms down, step or jump back, lower. That's going to occur all in one exhalation next time. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. So next time I'll just say vinyasa, and then you'll say, I know exactly what that is. We rest here for about, anywhere from 3 to 5 breaths. You can make this a child's posture. If you lose the breath, you've gone past your limit, so you want to pull back and, again, find where you can be. It's right before your limit. That's called the edge. That goes for every posture. That goes for the whole practice in general. Look forward, float forward, top of the mat. Inhale halfway. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Tadasana, arms reach up. Exhale, Samastitihi. Synchronizing breath and body. Inhale, up. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, we start with plank, vinyasa through. About 4 breaths, and then you'll take another one on your own. So meeting in Samastitihi, standing nice and tall, and taking a few deep breaths. So top of the mat, Surya Namaskara, letter Ka, sun salutation B. Big toes touching, heels apart. And we have thumbs to the heart center. Bend the knees, pull the pelvis in. Utkatasana, take the arms up. I really like to take the arms in big circles as often as I can. So that creates strength and also loosens things up. Increases the mobility in the shoulder. Next exhalation, fold forward over straight legs, gaze past the knees. Come up halfway, lengthen. Exhale, vinyasa. Now from downward facing dog, warrior A, right foot between the hands, left heel presses down, rise up. Take one more breath here, next time it'll go quicker, and then exhale, hands down, lift the right foot so the weight comes into the arms fully, almost fully. Lower, inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog, left foot between hands, right heel down. Rise up, warrior A, left side. And then we'll take a vinyasa. So a few deep breaths. So you'll see sun salutation, letter A and B. The main difference is we insert Utkatasana and Virabhadrasana. So we have that fierce posture and warrior A. We're going to close the posture, float forward, big toes together, heels apart. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Bend the knees. Inhale, rise, Utkatasana. Exhale, Samastitihi. And we're going to go again a little bit more quickly this time. Bend the knees. Let's take a start over. Take a deep breath in and out. Okay, now let's bend the knees. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold straight legs. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Vinyasa. Exhale, warrior A. Right side, right foot first. Exhale, hands down, lift the foot, step back, lower. Vinyasa. Left foot between the hands, right heel down. Warrior A. Vinyasa. Float forward. Come up halfway. Lower. Bend the knees, inhale, rise. Exhale, Samastitihi. Okay, we're going to go through one cycle on your own, or you're going to stand and breathe, whichever is right for you. My wire is getting jumbled up here. So go ahead and begin whenever you're ready. So once you're in Samastitihi, just take a few breaths there. It's a good time for water just in case you need some. let us begin our standing postures. So, I think I'm going to back up a little bit too, just so I'm not so far up, but you're going to stay at the top of the mat. I'm going to step the feet apart to the edges of the mat. Not to the edges, to hips distance apart. Exhale, hands to hips. This is Pada Angushtasana. Inhale, find a back bend, engage the thighs, look up. Exhale, fold forward, grasp the big toes with the peace fingers. Come up halfway, lengthen the spine, look forward. Exhale, bend the elbows to lower. Let the head go, look past the knees, focusless gaze. Really being with the body. This is how we can really release tension, release stress, let go of things of the past and imaginings of the future. And just being here by being in the body. So every inhalation you might feel the trunk lift a little. Go with that. Every exhalation you'll feel it lower. Go with that too and encourage it by tugging on the toes. Now we'll find Pada Hastasana. Inhale halfway. Exhale, stand on the hands, right on the palms. Get the toes to the wrists. You can bend the knees if you need to, especially in the beginning. And then inhale, look up, look forward. Exhale, lower the head, gaze past the knees. 5 deep breaths. Bring weight forward into the toes. We're creating a wedge with the feet, increasing the stretch. Next inhale, come up halfway to lengthen. Exhale, hands to hips. Inhale, rise up to standing. You can bend the knees to keep the back flat. And then come into Samastitihi, standing at the top of the mat. Utthita Trikonasana, extended triangle posture. Step the right foot to the back of the mat. Bring the arms to a T. Pivot the feet to the right. So right toes face back of the mat. Left toes can come slightly in or continue to face side of the mat. Exhale, reach out with the right hand, lower it down to the right leg. This is where a block comes in handy in case you're going to use it. Inhale, left arm up, look past the left thumb, focusless gaze. Totally focus on what we're doing and what this experience is. Maybe hands, right hand to the block on the outside or inside of the right foot. Exhale, gaze down at the right foot. Inhale, rise up to standing, arms to a T. Pivot the feet to the left. Same posture, left side. Exhale, reach out with the left hand. Lower it down to the leg. Inhale, right arm up. Gaze past the right fingers. Past the right hand. Parivrita Trikonasana, revolving triangle posture. Look down at the left foot. Inhale, rise up to standing, arms to a T. Exhale, hands to hips. Pivot to face the back of the mat. This is a good spot for a block to the inside of the right foot. Toes all facing forward. Feet are parallel. If you need more for balance, separate the feet a little bit. Inhale, lift the left arm up. Gaze up. Exhale, left hand down. Press that right hand into the right hip and literally push it to the right, turning the heart to the right, and then right arm upward. So left hand can be on the block, can be on the mat, can be using fingers rather than palm. Keep sending the right hip back, maybe looking up past the right thumb. Exhale, right hand down. Rise up to standing, arms to a T. Exhale, pivot, hands to hips, pivot to the front of the mat. Set up the block if you're using it. Toes all face forward. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, right hand down. Press into the left hip, turn to the left. Inhale, left arm up. Be mindful about the left shoulder blade, so it's not lazy. You want to keep pulling it into the back. Exhale, left hand down. Inhale, rise up to standing, and then we reset, samastitihi, top of the mat. Utthita Parshvokonasana. Intense, extended side angle posture. See, I didn't have anything to eat today, and then my brain is wondering. So we're going to step the right foot to the back of the mat, arms to a T. Pivot to the right, lunge into the right knee, forearm to the right thigh. Lift the left arm up. Now first make sure, where's the heart facing? Is it downward facing? Let it be out to the left, and now let it go upwards. Take the left arm up and then over the left ear. Now start to really stretch the trunk and look up past the left hand. If you need more, right hand to the outside of the right foot. If you know the bind, you can go for the bind. Probably next week we'll try the bind. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, pivot to the left, lunge into the left knee, forearm to left thigh, right arm up and over, and then looking up past right hand. Parivrita Parshvokonasana, revolving side angle posture. Rise up. Let's go ahead and pivot to face the back of the mat. Bring the palms together. And then we'll lunge into that right knee. Hook left elbow outside the right knee. Or you might get the upper arm outside of the thigh and twisting to the right, gazing past right elbow. Make sure to stretch the neck nice and long, and then just turn the head rather than trying to get that head closer to the right arm. Okay, other side, inhale, rise. Exhale, we'll pivot to face front. Lunge in, palms together, prayer position. Right elbow outside left leg. Long neck, turning the head, gazing past left elbow. Pull the low belly in towards the spine. So that's one thing I haven't mentioned. Uddiyana Bandha. I want to make sure we've got the inner core, that inner girdle very active. And then even the pelvic floor, pull that up. Mula Bandha. And we'll inhale, rise up. Exhale, samastitihi. Prasarita Padottanasana. Step the right foot to the back of the mat, arms to a T. Exhale, hands to hips. Inhale, look up. Find a back bend, glutes engaged. Exhale, fold forward, palms to the mat. Inhale, halfway lengthen. Exhale, bend the elbows to lower. Let the head go. Maybe walk the hands back so they line up with the feet. Maybe start to work the crown of the head down closer and closer towards the hands. So all of these postures lead into other more advanced postures that we don't take in this form, which is a short form of Ashtanga Yoga. So this could become, a headstand right there. Come up halfway, lengthen. That's probably in the flow. I don't know the long form. Bring hands to hips, and I might someday. Inhale, rise, arms to a T. Exhale, letter C, hands behind, interlace the fingers, squeeze the shoulders back, look up. Exhale, fold. Next inhale, come up. Arms to a T. Exhale, hands to hips. Inhale, look up. Exhale, fold forward. Grasp the big toes with the peace fingers. Inhale, lift the trunk, look forward. Exhale, bend the elbows. Let go, gaze past, right through the legs. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, hands to hips. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, Samastitihi, top of the mat. Parshvottanasana, intense side stretch. Right foot to about the center of the mat, not so far. Bring the arms to a T. Exhale, hands behind, clasp opposite elbows with the hands, or you can find a reverse prayer with the hands. So then we'll pivot to face the back of the mat, toes facing same direction, both feet. Inhale, lift the heart, look upwards. Exhale, fold halfway first. Halfway so we can set up the hips. So here we're setting the right hip back, the left hip forward. And then you might stay right here, or you might begin to lower, keeping the spine as long as you can. Inhale, rise, keep the arms as they are. Exhale, face the front of the mat, set up the feet. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, halfway first. Set the left hip back, right hip forward. And then begin to fold more deeply if it's available. We'll say if and when it's available. And we'll inhale, rise, arms to a T, especially if you had reverse prayer, roll those wrists. And we'll find the top of the mat, Samastitihi. Let's take a moment to either focus on breath or to take a little bit of water. So we're going to come into balancing posture. You might need a wall for this. Let's go ahead and maybe you want to give it a try without a wall today. It's up to you. And I will not be in a mirror image. So we'll go ahead. I'll stay this way. We'll bring hands to the hips, feet hip distance apart. This is Utthita Hasta Pada Angustasana. So it's as complicated as it sounds. Not really. Pull the pelvis in, engage the thighs. This is really important. So when we have that in and the thighs engaged, we've got our structure built properly. Lift the heart. Okay? Now, shift weight over to the left leg. Lift the right knee. Gently touch the right knee with the right hand. You might be holding it just like this. You might grasp the big toes with the peace fingers. Big toe. Keep the shoulder in as much as you can if you're here. Now, really pull the belly inwards. On the next exhale, take the right leg out to the right. Even if you're holding that leg with the knee itself, it's the same. Turn the head to the left if you want to add a little challenge. That'll throw you off till you learn how not to let it throw you off. Bring the leg to center. Exhale, knee to nose. Lift the leg. Take the head down, and then we'll go ahead and not let go of the leg, actually. So we're going to bring the foot, let the leg hover, hands to hips, pull the belly in. You might also take the arms up. This is letter E. And exhale, release. Okay, so lots of strength building here. Go ahead and roll, do what you need to do to release tension. Then we'll bring hands to hips and get ready for the other side. Engage the thighs, pull the pelvis in, lift the heart, shift over to the right leg. Lift the left leg, holding either the knee or the big toe. Take the leg to the left. A little extra challenge, maybe turn the head to the right. Bring the leg back to center. Exhale, leg up, trunk down. Inhale, trunk up, arms up maybe. We'll keep the leg lifted. Point the foot and then spread the toes. And exhale, let the left leg go. Go ahead and shake it out. So from here, we're going to take a vinyasa, sun salutation A. Neutralize things out a little bit. Next inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, vinyasa. Take the feet forward, Utkatasana, big toes together. Inhale halfway, exhale, fold, bend the knees, rise up. Now we'll add a little challenge here. Lift the heels. Lower the hips. Hands can stay up, or you can start to lower with palms together. See how low you can go. You might come all the way towards the heels. Exhale, heels down, fold forward. Inhale halfway, vinyasa. So a little bit of a different direction now. Step the right foot between the hands. Left heel presses down, rise up, warrior A. We're here for 2 more breaths. So from here, warrior B, arms to a T, left toes face the left side of the mat. Level the arms. Now we'll straighten the right leg and pivot to face the back of the mat. Lunge in. I think I forgot the exact order of how this goes, actually. And that's okay, it's been a while for me. It was when I was teaching this, so we're gonna stay in Warrior B for a couple of breaths. When I was teaching this before, I had to cut it down for 45-minute practice. So things faded. Now from here, let's come into Warrior A facing the back of the mat. We were supposed to do right, left, and it's a little different than this, but that's okay. Not going to affect the body really. It's just the flow. We're just going to reverse out of this, and then windmill the hands down and take another vinyasa, but this time we're going to come through to seated. So from here, when we're in downward facing dog, coming through to seated means maybe dynamically, or maybe you just get there from knees. So if you want to get there more dynamically, you would bend the knees and then spring the feet up and cross the ankles like this and set them down and extend the legs. So the way the people who really focus on this practice do it is they would actually go into a handstand from there, pike their legs as they come into this position. Let us be here in Dandasana. Palms down, shoulders back and down, flex the feet. You might have to bend the knees to be here comfortably. Pull up on the pelvic floor, pull the belly in, low belly. Now this is this seated posture. What is done is you pull the flesh away, from the sitting bones. So you'd actually grab a hold of your bottom and pull both sides out. So go ahead and try that. See if this is going to change. And then we'll come into Paschimottanasana, letter A. This is Western stretch. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, grasp the big toes with the peace fingers. You can bend the knees to be here. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, bend the elbows to fold, not the spine. Bend the elbows. If you're flexible enough, your trunk will lower, 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 closer to the legs without rounding like this. This is not what we're looking for. Looking for length. Letter B, hold the outer edges of the feet with the hands. Now you can see the pinkies, thumbs to the big toes. Inhale, rise. Reverse table, plant the feet, plant the hands, fingers face forward, lift the hips. So people often stay right here. See if you can really, really lift. And then use the glutes to help power the hips up. Another option is reverse plank. So you would be here, but the legs would be straight and the heels would be down. You might be able to plant the feet. That's Purvottanasana. Exhale, lower the hips. You have an option to stay in Dandasana right here and breathe, or to take a vinyasa starting from a boat posture. So you would lift arms and legs, cross ankles, outer edges of the feet down, hands down, jump the feet back lower. And we meet back in Dandasana. Right foot to the left thigh, Janya Shirshasana, head to knee posture. Arms reach up on the inhale. Exhale, fold. Hands somewhere to the leg, keeping spine long. Inhale, lengthen halfway up. Exhale, bend the elbows to lower rather than the spine. Make sure you aren't rounding the shoulders. You can bring the hands in closer towards the thigh if needed. And inhale, rise. Exhale, switch legs. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to the leg or foot. Inhale halfway. Exhale. Breathing fully. So remember, we're getting closer to the usual time we end our practice, and then I always go a little over that. But the point is, if you can't stay until noon, then make sure you rest in Shavasana before you leave practice if you have to end early. So you have an option to rest in staff posture, Dandasana, or you can rise and take a vinyasa again. Neutralizing, creating strength, endurance. Marichyasana, letter C. Plant the right foot, left foot is flexed. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, right hand down, fingers face back. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, left elbow outside the right knee. Get tall, and then twist, turn to the right. Engage the bandhas here, so pull up on the pelvic floor, draw the low belly in. Your left hand might come into Jnana Mudra, thumb and forefinger together. Inhale, center. Exhale, switch legs. Inhale, left arm up, look up. Exhale, left hand down, fingers face back, right foot is flexing. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, right elbow outside the left knee. Get tall and twist. Make sure not to lean back into the left hand. And we'll come to center. Either rest in staff posture or take a vinyasa. Woo. So we're going to go into boat postures, and there's a thing called bumping up between this. So what we will do is, if you have blocks, you can bring them close by, and we'll just practice the bumping up thing. So let's say you're not using the blocks. Either way, bring the hands down, ankles are crossed, push into the hands, and then begin to lift the hips and activate the core. See if you can lift the feet, and then exhale, lower. So you'll see there's more room to help create strength with blocks, bringing the hands down and then lifting. Then you could potentially hover like that. And that's as we create strength, eventually we wouldn't need the blocks. So see if you want to use them. And then we'll go ahead and find boat posture by planting feet. Keep shoulders back. Lift the legs. A few deep breaths. Cross the ankles, set the feet down. Plant the palms, inhale, bump the hips up, and then lower. And people traditionally take that into a handstand. We might do that next week with the wall. So if you have a wall, you'll be able to potentially try that with me. But I wouldn't do it if you have never tried any form of that kind of a inversion or imbalance. So we're in a boat, Navasana or Navasana. Keep drawing the knees towards each other. Cross the ankles, lower them down. Inhale, bump the hips up. And once again. Now here we're going to take a vinyasa. If you haven't been, take it now because we need to neutralize. So we'll cross the ankles, come forward. Once you come down to your seat, come all the way down to your back. So on the back, we'll be finding some inversions here. Starting with Setu Bandhasana. Plant the feet. Walk the shoulders back towards each other. Inhale, lift the hips up. Keep walking shoulders back. Maybe interlace fingers. Pressing arms down. Drawing knees towards each other. Exhale, release, lower. If you have a block, bring the block between the knees, the shortest distance. And then when you're ready, second set. Inhale, lift. And as you're here, you're squeezing the block with the knees. This is what we want to be able to do without the block. And exhale, release. You can remove the block if you'd like. We're going to take a third set. And when you're ready, inhale, lift. and exhale, lower. Bring the knees in and then rock up to seated. Extend the legs out. We were in Paschimottanasana before. We're going right back there. So inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold. Any version that felt right to you. Maybe even another way to do this is taking a block to the feet, holding the block if it doesn't overextend the shoulders. So count about 12 more breaths as you're in this posture, then you'll meet me on the back. All right, once you're on the back, we're going to go into a shoulder stand today and a plow posture, ear pressure posture. These can be a little intense. You want to make sure that you're careful about the neck and that the neck doesn't push into the mat. You also want to make sure that if it doesn't feel right, then you don't need to go there. So at this time, if you want to, we're going to start in one place, which is a candlestick posture. And so we'll take the legs straight up. And you can stay right here. This is a really wonderful posture to be in for long periods. Make sure that you have clear space behind you, behind the head. So I had to move up forward in order to make sure I have some space. Now, if you want to go further into Salamba Sardvangasana shoulder stand, you'll lift the hips and then have hands come to the sacrum with the elbows down. So you have to have the elbows down. Okay, the legs are right straight back. Now this is kind of like a half plow posture. We're going to take the legs up. You could take one leg up at the same time, but I like to keep my feet together and then just lift the legs. Then there's a little bit of a lift in the chin. Make sure not to turn your head when you're in this position. I can engage the legs, spread the toes. Maybe point the toes. You might take the hands a little closer to the low back. Another option is having the legs slightly behind so that the feet are behind the head like this. Don't look. You can look later. This is a good one to take before bedtime. Now, plow posture. Take the legs straight back, so keep the feet together as you lower them where we started right here. Then you might be able to get the toes down way behind you, so it's going to take a lot of openness and flexibility to get there. If you don't get there, keep the hands to the sacrum. If this is confusing and you're planning on practicing Ashtanga again, just look at the footage later so you don't strain the neck. idea how long I didn't have sound for. So sorry about that. If you're still here. My battery died and I had no warning. Let's end our practice. Palms together, thumbs to the heart center, eyes closed. And we'll end with Mangala Mantra, wishing success for the whole world. That may all beings be happy, healthy, and free from suffering, and know the truth. Svasti prajabhya paripalayantam nyayena margena mahi mahisha Gobrahmanebhyah shubhamastu nityam Lokah samastah sukhino bhavantu Lokah samastah sukhino bhavantu Lokah samastah Sukhino bhavantu Lokah samastah Sukhino bhavantu Om Shanti 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 Namaste. Thank you. Have a beautiful day, and I hope that the microphone didn't stop working very early on in the practice. It is definitely a challenge creating live streams with many different parts, and so there have been many hiccups along the road, but overall I think it's okay. So mistakes are inevitable when we try something, and as long as we can breathe through them and be with them and learn to walk through and past them, then it's all good. So, wishing you the best, sending you lots of love. Mwah. Take care.